Hey everyone, thanks for checking back in. Really appreciate it. So now that I have the exhaust done, I'm working on drive lines. And I checked on prices of new drive lines and they're pricey. So I picked up some used ones and I'm going to modify them myself. I've done it before. You're supposed to do it? No. But I still do it. It's not that terrible. I'm not going to be flying down the freeways at 100 miles an hour in this thing. This is a beater for the dirt on my dirt road. So the front drive line is too long and the rear drive line is too short. So I'll show you what I got going on here. So we're going to take 3¼ inches off this drive shaft. Now what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to leave this end alone because it has the balance weights on it. And I'm going to cut the cap off. I'll cut the weld off this end, take the length of pipe off of it, and weld it back together. That's about all there is to it. It's not that tough. Will it be balanced? Probably not. Will it be way off balance? Probably not. This was already balanced once upon a time, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. The trick is when you go to putting it back together, you have to make sure it's true. We'll get to that. Now what I'm going to do here on this joint, get you up close, and see that weld going around there. Well, this yoke has a collar that the pipe slips onto, and then they weld around it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut on the back side of this weld. I don't want to cut right on the weld because I don't want to cut into the yoke. So I'm going to cut in the back side of the weld over here until it comes loose, and then I can grind this out because I can see what I'm doing. If you check it out, that worked out just perfect. Just nicked into the yoke a little bit. Perfect. Now I didn't have the mic on, but the reason I marked it, because this is balanced. There's a weight right here, and a weight right there. And I want to make sure I put this back in the same place, not like that, because that might throw it off. It has to be back in the same position. That has to be, well, these two have to be in the same position, they have to be phased, and they have to be correct. This line I put here is not exact. When I get ready to weld this back on, I'll make sure it's exactly where it needs to be. These are just some jigs I made up real quick. Come on, turn loose. Just out of some scrap. So you can put the drive shaft in there and spin it around while you're working on it. Now a simple way to cut around a circle to make sure you make a good cut. Take a piece of paper with a straight edge on it. Wrap it around, line up the edge of the paper, and that'll give you a nice straight line. So my tubing cutter wouldn't reach around it, not cut accurately. So I had to use a paper method. red paper on there and cut it. And as you can see, makes a pretty darn good cut if you're slow and careful. Yeah, I'm not going to save that paper for future use. It's fulfilled its duties. Decent cut. Decent. Now I clean that up. Got a round file around here someplace. There we go. That was really a tight fit on there. That's actually mushroomed on there. I'll be darned. Okay, so this one here has been a little bit of a butt because I had to put it up in the press because this part was actually a little flared out. This should work. So I got a reference mark here where it needs to line up to. So where's my bar? There's my bar. That's going on crooked. I gotta put this camera down. Okay. Yeah. Got you all crooked, let me straighten you out here. Okay, so what I did here, if you can see here, I put a little better angle there. I got that together, and I put these together, lined them up as best I could. I put 3 tacks on it just to hold it together so I can get that new U-joint in. Now I got my dial indicator here set up to see how out of round it is. I don't have a lathe big enough to put this drive shaft in and spin it and check it. So you put it back in the rig and jack the wheels up or whatever. These front hubs, I just undid the front hubs, transfer cases in neutral, and then I can just spin it and see how far out it is. And you can see this is way out. Yeah, this you can see. This is way, way out. There's a low spot right there. Yeah, geez, you can see it. Okay, now I'll move the dial indicator and hammer on it here, move that joint. I don't want to do it with the dial indicator on there because I'll wreck the dial indicator. Where's my hammer? Where'd my hammer go? Huh. There it is. I may have to cut that weld. All right, we get the gist. I'll play with this and come back when I get it straightened out. Or close. Okay, let's check the back part of the shaft here. Check it. You can see that. That's 0 there. And there's 10 thousandths, 12. Almost 15. Yeah. This isn't dead smooth. I sanded it. It's pretty smooth, but see, it's a little out of round too. Then we'll go back up here to where I have it welded. It depends on where you are on the pipe, because the pipe's not completely round. That's for sure. Okay, there's our lowest spot. No, it's not. It's over there. Okay, there's 0, 10, 15, 18, 0. So it's about 18. Just to show these shafts are not perfectly true. They're not perfectly round. 20 thousandths, that's as close as you're going to get it. I don't think the factory shafts are that close. All right, now I got this tacked with I brought my little flux core, 110 flux core down here to tack it. Got it as close as I can. I kept playing with it. I've been playing with it for quite a while. I'm satisfied. So now I'm going to pull it back out and weld her up. Well, I got that drive shaft all welded up. Now I'm here on the press. I'm going to change out this last U-joint and get her put back in. Come on. Of course he's going to argue with me. There it is. Come on. There it is. These little clips. They're a little booger. There. There we go. All right. Now then. Just being stubborn. Okay, one new one. Well, that won't be quite enough. We won't be able to get the keeper ring in there. So, that little guy there. This might be easier. Let's see what I'm doing. That'll do it. Now I should probably put that keeper ring in so it won't push out the other way. That fit well. I'll put the other one in. Let's break the suction. Bring that one up a little bit so I don't get the bearings messed up. Yep, a little bit more. Not quite. There, it just became snug. A couple of taps of the drift, I'll get those to go in there, seat properly. need to be on a bench. All right, folks. There it is. I got that shaft all in there, bolted up. Yeah, I run around and just cleaned up the well just a little bit, just to make sure they're fairly even in height. But that one's done. Now all I got to do is the rear one. Now the rear one's the opposite. That one's got to stretch. So now that I got the front drive shaft done, work on the rear drive shaft. Now the rear one is too short. I got to lengthen it by 2.5 inches. So what I'm going to do is cut it in half, sleeve it, and weld it back together. It's probably not the best way of doing it, but it's already too short. If I mess it up, I got to buy tube for it anyway. And it's nothing ventured, nothing gained. So I'm just going to go for it. Okay, so I've cut the drive line in half. I put a reference mark on it so I can put it back in line. I've got a piece cut here out of a piece of scrap drive line I had. I measured the circumference. I cut this accordingly. It should fit. Maybe. We'll see. Everything doesn't go fall on the floor on me. What do you think? Is it going to work? I don't think I have enough ratchet straps on here. Look at there. It's going. Looks like I got it. Maybe. It's working. I don't know how I'm gonna get the other half in. So I need 9.5 inches sticking out here. Where did my tape measure go? There it goes. There it is. I already went too far. Should have left 9.5 inches. I left, no. Should have left 8.5 inches. I'm at 8.25. That's all right. That's okay. Now I try to get the other half started. That might be more interesting. My idea was going to leave 6 inches on either side, so I'll be a little bit off. Not a big deal. There's my reference mark. There it is there. Get to close up a little bit more. Ooh, just like that. Ooh. Ooh. All right, now I think I better get it over on a bench someplace flat so I can get my reference marks lined up. Got a lot of craziness going on here. It's going on real nice. No, just the bottom was moving. I'm at 3.5. No, now the top one moved. I'm gonna take it over the bench and I'll put a tack in this one here, maybe a couple. That should pretty much line it up, just the way it is. Put a couple tack welds on here. That's the welder buzzing. Got a mark here. Moving along just fine. Now before, I got my reference marks here. Where are they? They're right there. Looks like this one's off a little bit. Now I got a couple big pipe wrenches I can put on here and get it right where I need it. I'm sure of. There it is. Right where I want it. How straight is it? Really straight. All right. I can see my camera's getting ready to die. Running out of battery. So I'll go ahead and end it here. Is this the right way to do it? Heck no. It's cheap. I can always pull it, take it into a shop later. After it's up and running, I got other things to do. I don't want to put that money into it now. Drive shafts are expensive. But this will get it on the road. These two reference marks lined up and weld both sides, grind a little bit and clean it up. It'll be good. Well, I want to thank everybody for watching. I really appreciate it. Appreciate all the comments. Yeah, this isn't the right way of doing it. But they work in a pinch. I see a lot of four-wheel guys do it this way. We'll see. Thanks for watching. Take care.